Deep frying goodness. That's what this video is about. That's what produces those crispy and crunchy textures that almost everyone loves. That, along with chewy, are my two favorite textures. Well, three, I guess, because crispy, crunchy is two different ones. Anyway, so let's take a look at what we got here. Three of Korea's most famous chips. These are definitely their spiciest chips, and these are nacho cheese, though you can't really taste the nacho cheese because the spice kind of kicks in, and wow, those are good chips. This is likely the most famous one. These are called seugang, and this is actually made with miniature little whole shrimp that are ground up and cooked and put in there. Real shrimp in that chip, if you can believe it. This one, and this one, unfortunately, I don't think are exported out of Korea, but these two are my favorite chips in Korea. This is called bul jampong. This is gokgaedang. These are tiny little cute crab shaped chips that actually have real seafood in them. Once again, it's little small seafood, little pieces of crab, little micro crab probably with their shells and such. But anyway, hey, it's a snack food, so we're not looking for super expensive ingredients. Now, what we're going to do is, to make a point, we're going to put the nacho chip, the shrimp chip, and let some of the crab chips swim in the water. Why would anybody ever put crunchy things in water? Oh, well, they're going to get soggy, of course, because water is the enemy of crispy and crunchy. It's to make a point that one of the most important steps that happens during deep frying is water goes out and oil goes in. So water makes things flexible. So when you got a lot of water in there, things can move around. You know, just imagine a piece of lettuce. It has a lot of water in it. Lettuce, once, you can move that. There's a lot of pliability. But something that's going to be really dry, like a French fry, isn't going to be pliable. When you try to bend it, it breaks. Or in the case of this chip, when you bend it, it breaks. See that? That's because it's not pliable. This has the proteins and the starches are already set. They're rigid, which is what we want. And there's oil in here to help keep the water out. Except, of course, when some idiot does this and throws their chips in water, don't ever do that because it's just a waste of chips, just to prove a point. So, frying science. Wow, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in deep frying. There are likely books written about this, and there are many, many, many research papers about it. There are so many effects going on that it would take 15 videos to explain them all, 20 videos. So we don't want to go into all that. We just want to talk about some of the basic stuff. So inside of things that are raw, there's a lot of water. There's water that is sitting just kind of on the surface. That's called free water. Vicinal water. And then there's bound water. That water is kind of stuck inside of the protein. So if you want to take a quick little look, so let's say here's just a little water right here. This is just a free water, a vicinal water just cruising around. These are easy to get out. And then you have a big protein here, and there's extra water in here, and these are a little tougher to get out, but they're still in there. So if we still leave these waters in, well, then this is going to make this protein kind of soggy. So we have to get this stuff out. And what is the genius of the Koreans making fried chicken? It's the double fry. First fry, they do it at a little lower temperature. That's going to get some of this water out. And then the second fry, once you've cooked these proteins and changed their shape. Now, once these proteins change shape, they're going to kind of open up a little bit. Then the water that was in here is going to be here, and it's going to be ready to come out next time. Remember, this is just one of the effects of deep frying. There are so many. So as this happens, as the starches and the proteins start to lose that extra water, they're going to get rigid. They're going to open up. There's going to be little micro fissures in the surface of stuff, and then the oil is going to go in. That oil is going to go in. It's going to sit there from the first fry. Then the second fry, when you start to do that, that oil is going to heat up and it's going to boil off the water. So when you throw something into hot oil, what do you get? Those little bubbles? That's water being cooked out of whatever you've thrown in there, because there's always water and stuff like that. That's why it's soggy. You want to get it crispy. So the first fry kind of dries it out, sets some of these proteins and starches. The second fry at a higher temperature makes the starches and proteins pop. That additional bound water in here comes out. You get extra crispy, and you get all those delicious flavors that are associated with deep frying. All right, that's really just about all we're going to get in for this. However, it's now time to try our chips. Ooh, don't those look good? Wow. Oh, look at that. Mmm. Mushy seugang. Never had something that bad before. Wow. That's not enjoyable at all. And okay, it's also lost all of its flavor too, so you kind of get the double negative happening. Now for my chip. Now since these chips are a little bit thicker, they have retained their shape a little bit more, but let's see. Well, yeah, they're soggy. They're pretty awful. Anyway, you see that water is the enemy of deep frying. You have to get this out. Now, what happened with those two Korean different styles of chicken that we saw? One of them, they didn't put any breadcrumbs in. So let's just say, for instance, if you were to break this up and you would add this to a batter, this is already crispy. You would add this to a batter, that's going to create additional surface area, additional places for oil to get in. So this is going to give it more of a crunch, more surface area, more oil, but kind of more of that really full, oh man, did I ever have too much fried chicken feeling. That's why I like the lightly crispy chicken the best. Except in the case of the one that's our favorite, crunchy chicken. How did they solve this dilemma? Oh, they've still got this in there. They've still got those breadcrumbs or other things in the batter that do suck up the extra oil, but they got rid of the skin. So with getting rid of that skin, you've gotten rid of a lot of the oil, and now the batter becomes the skin. So yeah, it's a little bit heavier than the crispy style one, but they have solved the problem. So you've got a great crunchy texture without too much oil to give you that awful kind of fried chicken hangover you can get when you eat too much. That's why those two are my two favorite fried chickens in all of Korea. Very, very smartly done.